Hi, welcome to the 27th episode of the New England Gal Knits podcast. I am Janet, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry at the New England Gal. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back, and if you're a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy it. It is November 30th today, and for all of those who are in the United States, I hope you all had a very happy Thanksgiving, and I cannot wait for tomorrow. This weekend starts the first week of Advent, and I love the Christmas season, and I have a feeling this year is going to be much more enjoyable. I cannot believe it. I would say easily 75% of my Christmas shopping completed. On top of it, it's all wrapped. And then on top of that, other than the Christmas tree and some garland for the mantle, all of my Christmas decorations are up. So I am just looking forward to relaxing and enjoying time with family and not feeling the rush of the season, because sometimes that can get a little overwhelming and kind of brings down that joy level just a little bit. But I am feeling like it's smooth sailing from here and looking forward to it. So I do have quite a bit to share with you that I've completed over the last about week and a half. It was Thanksgiving last week, so it was a short week, and then I had this week off. I am starting to work full-time again on Monday. My goal is still to podcast every 2 weeks. That plan has not changed. It just may be that I'm filming at night or I get up at 4:30 in the mornings anyways, about an hour before my kids get up, just to have a little bit of peace and quiet and to settle and relax. So I can probably podcast then. Hopefully the lighting will be good. Fingers crossed that works out. I also, for some reason, this week started up my blog again, and I'll link down below if you're interested in checking that out. But my husband thought it was hilarious that the week before going back to work full time that I would put more on myself. But I love podcasting. I love blogging. I signed up for Skillshare, and I'll leave a link to them below at all. I'm not sponsored whatsoever, but I've really been enjoying it. I've been doing photography courses and Instagram photography, as well as been watching some hand lettering courses. It seems like they have everything, and my husband just got Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom and Pro Premiere, which is a video editing, which I'm going to try with this video, although it looks much more complicated than iMovie. So we'll see, but I've been taking some courses on that, and I've just really been enjoying that. So I've been watching those courses and knitting, and it's been a wonderful week off. But no more of my chatter. I'm gonna jump in. I do have 2 finished objects. One of them is very, very small, so I'll share that first. So here is my first completed object, and this is one of Arne and Carlos's Christmas balls. Dovre, I think is how you say it, but I may be pronouncing that completely wrong. And it is knit out of Finullgarn. And here it is. It's Rauma Finullgarn, and the white is color 401, and the red is color 428. And I do have Arne and Carlos's book. And what I did was I kind of went through the book with my boys and said to them, hey, pick out an ornament you'd like me to make so we have it for the tree. So this is the one my younger one picked up, and God love Ryan, but in typical Ryan style, he picked this one because it looked like the most complicated one in the book, and I guess he wanted to challenge me. So this was the one he chose, so I do have to cast on the one that my older son Jacob picked out, and I'm going to show you a picture of it, but I gotta maneuver paper around so you don't see the chart. But it's the Christmas tree pattern right here, and I'll just do it red and the tree will be white. And then I have a couple other patterns that I'd like to knit as well from it, and this is quick and easy. It's a day project. It would be a great little Christmas present, something to decorate, or some wrapping just as an accent. I love making them. And my second finished object is something you actually hadn't seen. I hadn't started it yet when I podcast last, but this is, I believe you say it, Kobuk, the Kobuk hat by Caitlin Hunter, and the pom-pom is by Fab Knits. I loved the way this turned out. It fits exactly how I want a hat to fit. Here we go. And it is soft and cozy, and I can't wait till it gets cold enough for me to wear it. It's been in the 40s all week this week, so I haven't had a chance to actually wear it. But so I knit this out of here we go, Foxhill Farm, and this is her DK Cormo weight in the gray color, and I think I have enough to get a pair of fingerless mitts out of it, or at least I hope I do. And then the mohair that I held with it is by the Golden Purls, and it is I Can't Stand Living with These Pigs is the name of the color, and I just could not be more happy with this. I love it. So, now that I've messed up my hair, but oh my god, it's so soft. The mohair is so soft. It's been bad because when I was working on it, if I left the mohair out, I would find my dog grooming it, licking away at it. I don't know if he thought it was another animal that needed a bath, but he was enjoying cuddling with the yarn as well. He's been all over my knitting, and I have a quilt to show, so my knitting and my quilting projects for whatever reason. So that is all I have for finished objects. And for my works in progress, I'm going to start off, I have 3 socks, so I'll start off with my socks first. So these I had shown last time, and I had the half finished object, and these are just a pair of vanilla socks knit out of Retrosaria Mondim yarn, and I have gotten almost through the leg. So I think I mentioned last time I was podcasting that I was going to take this with me when we saw Fantastic Beasts of the Crime of Grindelwald, which I did, and I got through the majority of the leg there. And I can't wait to have these finished, but I can't, because I put the heel in on this one already, I'm having a hard time making sure they're the same length. So I think I'm going to put the heel in, then I can have an accurate measurement of how much further I have on the leg to go before I start the ribbing. So that is a project for this weekend. Everything is a project for this weekend. I did not do a lot of my gift knitting that I had talked about last week. I was doing a lot of selfish knitting, so I need to get on that this weekend. So the next socks I am working on is, here we go. These are my Christmas socks, and the pattern on these is the Vanilla Latte socks, and this is being knit out of Once Upon a Corgi in her Peppermint Mocha colorway. I love the way this is coming out, and I've already gotten past the heel. So I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel on this one. I was actually, when we went to go see the movie, we were watching it in an IMAX theater, And we got there early because every time we go to IMAX, it's always sold out. You have to fight for seats. There's a line that starts an hour and a half before the movie. So we got there early. So I ended up doing the heel on this while waiting to get in, and then working on the leg of the other sock once we were in the theater. By the way, I love that movie. I liked it better than the first Fantastic Beasts. I absolutely loved it. I want to go see it again in the theater. We'll see. Although I don't know if I'd go see it on the IMAX. Sometimes I feel like the IMAX is almost too big and I can get motion sickness. That's just me. So I'd like to see it in a regular movie theater. I don't do 3D at all either because of my motion sickness. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So anyways, I'm very pleased with the way these are going, and I have my little narwhal there by Sugar Tots that I absolutely love, my Peppermint Mocha narwhal. And then my last pair of socks that I'm working on, these are a gift knit for my younger brother who has a monstrous feet. And I am, here is one leg almost done, and yeah, this one's shorter now. So they're almost about the same. So I want to finish up the legs and get the heels in before next Saturday because we're going to New York City, so I want to be able to work on the foot of the socks while driving to and from New York City because it's a 3-hour drive. So, and we drive in the dark. We'll leave early in the morning just because, well, those of you who live in New York City or anywhere kind of on the northeast part of the country knows the traffic can be horrendous. So we leave super early in the morning in order to beat all the traffic and make it into the city without catching any of the gridlock. So that is it for the socks I'm working on. So for my last work in progress, I am working on the Larch sweater by Pam Allen, and it is out of her Plain and Simple book. And here is a couple pictures of it. And here's some more. So I find that this is a knitting itself. I've made some really good progress on it. I am knitting it on a larger needle size to get gauged, so it is a worsted weight on a size 9 needle. And let me grab, here's the front. Here is what I have completed so far. So I have the pockets in, and I am just in stockinette. I have to knit 17 inches. It does seem on the narrower side, but I think once I block it, it will bloom and grow because I did meet gauge and I actually am knitting a size up from what I normally do just because I do want that oversized slouchy type of sweater that you saw in the photos. But I am really enjoying the way this is coming out and the yarn that I'm knitting it with, and I'm just knitting it out of Knit Picks worsted and Simply Wool, sorry. And this is in the Wilhelmina, I can't talk all of a sudden, Wilhelmina color. And actually, I think it's undyed. And that is all I have for knitting. I did do a little bit of sewing yesterday. And I have been going through some of my fabrics, and then I realized I had purchased 2 kits from Connecting Threads, I would say about 3 years ago, that I never got around to sewing up. I almost said knitting. Sewing up. And you know what, they're just sitting in my basement, so I wanted to get them done. So I did finish one yesterday, and this was such a simple, quick, and fun project. It only took me one day, and because I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera, but I'll also post some pictures of it. But I absolutely love the way this came out. It's a table topper, and all I did for the quilting is I did machine quilt it, and I just did the stitching in the ditch around the 2 squares just to keep it in place. And I love the way this came out, and I love how quick and easy it was. I was shocked. I'm always afraid of doing pieced borders because I measure, measure twice, cut once. I'm a big proponent of making sure I'm measuring and cutting and doing the 1/4 inch seam allowance, and somehow my borders never end up coming out exactly right. They're always just a little bit off. And even here, let me just show you all of my mistakes. But here I cut off the tip of one of the trees. Yet I measured it, it was all correct, it all lined up. So I don't know what happened, but my borders came out perfectly and lined up just the way they should, so I was thrilled with that. So I did really enjoy that, and I want to, at some point next week, I have a couple other Christmas quilts that I want to work on, and this one again is just, I think it's a table topper or a 35-inch square. But here it is, the pattern, and again it was a kit, so I have, I'm sorry, it's in a plastic bag, so you're hearing all the crinkling. So I have all of the material already. I love this one. I love holly. I love holly. So my goal is to work on this and get this done for this year, as well as seeing this one went really quickly. And for the applique, I just grabbed some, my mom's an avid quilter and she has it all. So I went into her stash and grabbed some steam-a-seam. So it's basically, I'm gonna iron these on. I'm not gonna do anything fancy with them. Maybe eventually I'll do like a satin stitch around the applique, but for right now, I'm just going to do the whole seam-a-seam and go from there. So that's lined up to do. And then as I was going through all of my material, I had purchased a pattern, and while I have the pattern, I can't find the cover picture to it, so I'm gonna stick a picture in here. It's the Fair Isle Christmas Quilt by Freshly Pieced, and I have all of the material. All of it. It's all been pre-washed. It's not ironed. Look how wrinkly it is. It's not ironed, but I have it all. So my goal is to start working on this come the new year, and then have it professionally quilted with a stipple. I think it's called a stipple stitch, and have that done for next year, because the bedrooms don't get a whole lot of Christmas decorations. I mainly concentrate on the living room, dining room, and kitchen. So it would be nice to have a little bit of Christmas in the bedrooms. So hopefully come the new year, I can go ahead and get that started. And then the only other thing I wanted to share with you is I did have one purchase. I had it last time I podcasted and completely forgot to show it to you, but I did pick up the Lane. I have no idea. I've heard it pronounced so many different ways. I'm not even quite sure how to say it at this point, but I did pick up this magazine. I think this is my second one of theirs, and everything in it I absolutely love. But I had a couple I had picked out that I wanted to share, and look at, I bookmarked them this time so that I wasn't shuffling through the magazine like I normally do. But the Poet is one of the patterns I absolutely fell in love with. And I love their photography, I love the aesthetic. this magazine is just beautiful, and it has a couple of recipes. There's a risotto recipe that looks delicious. Unfortunately, there's asparagus in it, and seeing I'm the only one in my family that eats asparagus, I have to find a friend who will go ahead and share it with me. But the other pattern I absolutely love is the sewed, I think is how you say it, and it is just a beautiful cabled cardigan. And I knit a lot of pullovers, and I do want to, in this coming year, knit some more cardigans, because I don't have a lot of cardigans, but I love wearing cardigans and wrapping up in cardigans. And I have, I think I wore it in my last podcast, the, oh, I'm going to blank on it now. It's by Hannah Fedek. It's not the Georgetown. It's the other one of her cardigans in the Home and Away. I can't remember. I'll put it here, but I do absolutely love wearing that sweater, and it would also go with this shirt. But I love wearing, I've been big into flannels lately, so I love wearing button-down flannels, so I would love to get some more cardigans so I can go ahead and wrap myself in them. And that is all I have for all the crafting so far. And other than that, as for Vlogmas, I think what I'm going to try and do is one video a week. With going back to working full-time next week, that I don't think, unless you want to watch me commute back and forth from work, there's not going to be a whole lot else going on. I'll come home, cook dinner, and then sit and knit or cross stitch. I really have to get working on my brother's cross stitch for his Christmas present. My plan is after I'm done editing, I will go ahead and throw on a Harry Potter movie and just sit there and cross stitch, because with the cross stitching, and I know I've talked about this in the past, I have to concentrate a little bit more and watch what I'm doing with it. Whereas knitting, especially the sweater where in stockinette, I can watch the movie and not really look at what I'm doing. However, with the cross stitch, I find I have to concentrate on that a little bit more. I like cross stitching while I'm watching Jeopardy, because Jeopardy, you just have to listen to it. You don't necessarily have to watch it. So with having the Harry Potter movies memorized, I can throw that on. It's good background noise while I cross stitch. So that'll be this afternoon what I'll work on. So with that kind of being said, I may do some videoing when we pick up our Christmas tree, and if you hear the jingling in the background, that is the dog walking around. It's not jingle bells. But I figure I'll video some of the Christmas tree when we go to pick up the Christmas tree, and maybe some Christmas decorating, and then definitely when we go to New York City, I'll also go ahead and video then. Other than that, I don't know how much. We're homebodies, we don't do a whole lot, so I don't know how exciting it would be for me to do Vlogmas, and especially to do it every day where you'll be seeing me commute, cooking breakfast, cooking dinner. But I'm hoping once a week to go ahead and put out a video for Vlogmas. So other than that, there's not much else going on. I really hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to, please consider subscribing to the channel. And thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a great 2 weeks ahead. Bye.